The real reason why most people fail in life. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to rise effortlessly while others remain stuck, no matter how hard they try? You see them, those individuals who break barriers, who defy the odds, and yet you can't help but ask yourself, what's their secret? But here's the real question. What if the only thing holding you back from living your fullest life is not your lack of talent, your circumstances, or even your dreams, but the very mindset you carry with you every day? Today, we're going to uncover the real reason why most people fail in life, and more importantly, what you can do to stop it. Have you ever heard the saying, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right? It sounds simple, doesn't it? But within those few words lies the key to understanding why so many people get stuck and never reach their full potential. It's because everything begins with belief. You see, belief isn't just a feel-good word. It's a force. It's a tool that can either build or break you. Take Thomas Edison, for example, the man who gave us the light bulb. Did you know he failed over 1,000 times before he finally got it right? Over 1,000. Picture that for a moment. Every time he tried and failed, people around him must have said, maybe you're just not cut out for this. They probably said, maybe this is impossible. But Edison didn't listen to those voices. He didn't let failure define him. He had one thing that most people don't have, and that's belief in himself, in his vision. That belief didn't just keep him going, it drove him. It fueled him. Every failure was just another lesson, not a reason to quit. Can you imagine how easy it would have been for him to give up after just 100 tries? Or even 500? But he didn't. His belief in what he could achieve made all the difference. And here's the hard truth. Most people never get to experience their true potential because they quit too soon. And why? Because they don't believe in themselves. They tell themselves they're not smart enough, not talented enough, not lucky enough. But let me tell you something. Success isn't about being the smartest or the luckiest. It's about believing in your ability to succeed even when the odds are stacked against you. You have the potential. You have the ability to make your dreams a reality. But first, you have to believe you can. Fear, the silent killer of dreams. Now let's talk about fear. That silent, sneaky killer of dreams. Have you ever wanted to take a risk or try something new, but that voice inside your head said, what if it doesn't work out? Or maybe you've been so afraid of failure that you never even gave yourself the chance to try. That, my friend, is fear. Fear is the number one thing that holds most people back. It's the fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of not being good enough. But let's stop right here for a second and ask ourselves, what is it that we're really afraid of? Are we afraid of falling, or are we more afraid of never getting up? I want you to think about this. What if the thing you're most afraid of is actually the very thing you need to face in order to succeed? Let me share a story with you about J.K. Rowling. We all know her as the brilliant mind behind Harry Potter, right? But what you might not know is that she was a single mother struggling to make ends meet. She was living on welfare when she wrote the first Harry Potter book. And here's the kicker. She sent that manuscript to 12 publishers, and all of them rejected it. 12. Can you imagine the fear she must have felt? The doubt? The feeling of maybe this just isn't meant to be? Most people would have thrown in the towel right there. But J.K. Rowling? She didn't. She kept going. She faced that fear and kept pushing forward. And guess what? The 13th publisher said yes. The rest, as they say, is history. Today, Harry Potter is one of the most successful book series ever written. But here's the secret. She didn't let fear stop her. Fear was there, yes, but she chose to act despite it. Fear didn't freeze her in place. It motivated her to keep moving. Fear didn't define her. It pushed her to grow. And that's exactly what happens with every successful person. Fear is always there. It's just part of the journey. The difference is they don't let it control them. They choose to act in spite of it. So when was the last time you let fear control your decisions? When was the last time you wanted to try something but held back because you were afraid of failing? If you let that fear dictate your every move, you'll never get anywhere. But if you face it, if you push through it, you might just find the success you've been dreaming of. Fear is a natural part of life, but it doesn't have to hold you back. You don't need to be fearless, you just need to be courageous enough to move forward anyway. Believe in yourself, act despite fear. So what's the takeaway here? It's simple. Your belief in yourself is everything. If you believe you can, you're already halfway there. Don't let doubt, fear, or failure stop you from reaching your potential. Every person who has ever achieved something great had to push through those same feelings. Remember Edison, remember J.K. Rowling? They faced fear, they faced failure, but they didn't let it stop them. They believed in themselves and they kept moving forward. You can do the same. The next time you feel afraid, the next time you doubt yourself, ask yourself this: what would happen if I kept going, even just one more step? The answer might surprise you. So, what are you waiting for? Believe in yourself. Face that fear, take that first step. You've got everything you need to succeed. If you're ready to start believing in your own potential, take a moment today to commit to yourself. Don't let fear or doubt hold you back anymore. Start small, but start now. And if you found this message inspiring, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's keep this positive energy flowing. You've got this. This extended version adds more real-life examples, emotional engagement, and rhetorical questions to keep the viewer connected. The tone remains relatable, human, and inspiring, with a clear call to action at the end to motivate the audience further. Comfort zones, the hidden trap that keeps you stuck. Think about this. Most of us live our entire lives in a comfort zone. It's like a warm blanket, safe, familiar, predictable. And let's be honest, it feels good to stay there. But here's the catch. Nothing ever grows in the comfort zone. Imagine trying to grow a plant in the shade. No matter how much water and care it gets, if it doesn't reach for the sunlight, it will never flourish. Take Michael Jordan, for example. The man who's considered the greatest basketball player of all time wasn't always this unstoppable force. In fact, he got cut from his high school basketball team. How crazy is that? Can you imagine the humiliation he felt? But here's what sets Jordan apart. He didn't let that rejection define him. He learned from it. He said, I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something, but I can't accept not trying. And that's the key right there. He stepped outside of his comfort zone. Think about this. If he had stayed in his comfort zone, avoiding rejection, avoiding failure, would he have ever become the legend we know today? Probably not. He failed, he got knocked down, but he kept getting back up, and that's what pushed him to greatness. Now ask yourself, when was the last time you stepped out of your comfort zone? When was the last time you tried something new? Something that scared you a little? Maybe you've been waiting for the perfect moment to act. Well, let me break it to you. The perfect moment never comes. You have to create it. You have to step forward even when you're scared. It's not about being fearless. It's about being brave enough to take action despite the fear. Think about it like this. The longer you stay in your comfort zone, the more you're robbing yourself of the growth that's waiting for you on the other side. So, take the first step today. Step outside your comfort zone and watch how your life transforms. The curse of perfectionism: why striving for perfect keeps you stagnant. Let me ask you this. How many times have you stopped yourself from taking action because you were waiting for everything to be perfect? You wanted the perfect plan, the perfect timing, the perfect circumstances. Maybe you've been waiting for the stars to align, thinking that one day it'll all just fall into place. But here's the hard truth. Perfection is the enemy of progress. I'm not saying you shouldn't strive for excellence, but perfection? It's a trap. It'll keep you stuck in an endless loop of planning and waiting. Look at Steve Jobs. Apple didn't become the powerhouse it is today because Jobs waited for the perfect product. No, he didn't wait for perfection. He started with something imperfect. And then he worked relentlessly to make it better. He would throw away entire projects, knowing they weren't quite right, and then get back to work improving them. That's what made Apple revolutionary. We often forget that perfection doesn't exist. There's no such thing as a perfect time, a perfect plan, or a perfect moment to start. The real key to success is taking action, even if it's not perfect. It's about making the most of what you have right now and improving it as you go along. Think about all the ideas, dreams, and projects that never came to life because someone was waiting for everything to be just right, waiting for the perfect moment. And while they waited, someone else took action, stumbled a bit, learned from their mistakes, and eventually made their vision a reality. So here's a challenge for you. Stop waiting for everything to be perfect. Take the first step, even if it's messy, even if it's imperfect. The journey to greatness isn't about having everything figured out from the start. It's about moving forward with what you have, making progress, and improving along the way. Remember, you don't have to have it all together to start. You just have to start. The power of now. I want you to think about something. What's one thing you've been holding back from doing? Maybe you've been afraid to fail. Or maybe you've been waiting for everything to be perfect. Maybe, the time is now. Take that first step. Step out of your comfort zone. Stop waiting for the perfect moment because it'll never come. Start where you are with what you have and just take action. This is your life. And the only thing that's holding you back is you. So, are you ready to step into the unknown? Are you ready to take action, even when it's messy? Because I can promise you one thing. If you wait for perfection, you'll be waiting forever. The world is waiting for you to show up, flaws and all. Let today be the day you start. Let today be the day you break free from the comfort zone. You've got this. So go ahead, take that leap, push past the fear, and know that the growth, the opportunities, and the success you're waiting for are on the other side. Believe in yourself. The time is now. The importance of persistence. Why giving up is the worst choice. Here's a harsh truth. No one who ever achieved greatness did so by quitting. Persistence is the secret ingredient to success. It's the drive that pushes you to keep going even when it feels impossible, even when the odds are stacked high and the world seems to be telling you to stop. Now, let's think about Walt Disney. This man, one of the most creative minds in history, was fired from a newspaper job because his boss thought he lacked imagination. Can you imagine that? The same Walt Disney who went on to build an empire we know today, a global icon, Disneyland, Disney World, Pixar, Marvel, you name it. His persistence turned rejection into triumph. But it wasn't easy. It never is. Here's the thing about persistence. It's not glamorous. It's messy, it's tough, and it's filled with moments where you question your path. But every day, even when you don't see the finish line, you show up. You do the work. Because here's the secret. Persistence is the difference between a dreamer and a doer. When times get hard, it's easy to think about giving up. Maybe you've felt that too. You've tried something and you hit a wall. You're exhausted. Maybe no one's supporting you, or maybe the world just doesn't get it. But listen carefully. Giving up is the only real failure. Every setback is a lesson. Every obstacle is a chance to learn and grow. You don't fail until you stop trying. Take a moment to reflect. When was the last time you almost gave up on something that really mattered to you? That job you wanted, that relationship, that dream, but you pushed through, and maybe, just maybe, things started to shift for the better. Keep going. That's the key. Remember, persistence doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It's simply the decision to keep going even when you're not sure of the outcome. So the next time you feel like throwing in the towel, just ask yourself, what if this is the moment right before things start to turn around? What if the only thing you need to do is keep going just a little longer? The power of action, how to overcome the paralysis of inaction. Now, let's move on to something crucial. The one thing that separates successful people from those who never take flight is action. Think about it for a second. How many dreams have you put off because you didn't know where to start? Or maybe because you wanted everything to be perfect before you took that first step. You're not alone. We've all been there, paralyzed by the fear of not being ready. But here's the thing. The world doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It's waiting for you to act. So, let me ask you a question. What's one thing you've been putting off? Is it starting a new business? Writing that book? Picking up that hobby you've always dreamed about? You've thought about it a million times, haven't you? But for some reason, you've held back. I get it. Taking that first step can be terrifying. It's the fear of failure, the fear of looking stupid, or maybe even the fear of success itself. But here's the truth. Staying stuck where you are is far worse than trying and failing. Remember, success doesn't come from waiting for the perfect moment. It comes from taking action. And that action doesn't have to be big. In fact, it's often the small, imperfect steps that add up over time. If you wait for everything to line up perfectly, you'll wait forever. Look at the stories of so many successful people. You think they had it all figured out from the beginning? Nope. They took action when they didn't know the next step. They learned as they went, adjusted, improved, and kept moving forward. It's that willingness to act, even when you don't have all the answers, that makes all the difference. Take imperfect action. Start with what you have, where you are. The journey will teach you the rest. And guess what? Every little action you take is a step closer to turning that dream into a reality. So why wait? What's the point of waiting for everything to be perfect when you can start today? If you're still unsure, let me remind you, no one ever achieved anything by staying in their comfort zone. You don't have to be perfect to start, but you can't finish if you never begin. Think about the first time you did anything that seemed daunting, learning to drive, going for that first job interview, meeting new people. Were you prepared? Probably not, but you took the first step anyway. And that's what made all the difference. So, what's one small action you can take today that gets you closer to your goal. It could be as simple as researching something online, writing one paragraph of that book, or picking up the phone to make that call. It's all about movement. You don't need all the answers, just the courage to take the first step. Don't let fear paralyze you. Don't let doubt stop you. The only way to move forward is by acting. And trust me, as you start to take action, you'll find momentum. And with momentum comes progress. Here's what I want you to take away from all this. Persistence is your secret weapon. It's the one thing that will keep you in the game when everything else tells you to quit. And when persistence is paired with action, real, messy, imperfect action, there's nothing you can't accomplish. You might feel overwhelmed right now, unsure of where to start or whether you'll even succeed. But I promise you this, the first step is the hardest and it's also the most important. So today, make a promise to yourself. Take that first step, no matter how small, and then take the next one. Keep moving forward, keep learning, keep growing. You're not meant to stay stuck. You're meant to rise, to act, to persist, and to succeed. Your future is waiting for you. Go get it. If you've made it this far, you've already taken the first step. Now take action. What's one thing you can do today to move closer to your dream? Keep pushing and remember, persistence and action will always lead to success. The power within you. So, now that you know the real reason most people fail in life, let's get one thing straight. It's not about your circumstances, it's about your choices. You have the power to choose your mindset, to choose to face your fears, to step outside of your comfort zone, to take action, and to persist when things get tough. This is your time to break free. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Create it now. The world needs what you have to offer. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the decision to take that first step. So, what are you waiting for? The power to succeed is already within you. All it takes is one decision. Choose to believe, choose to act, and choose to never give up. If you're ready to take charge of your life, to finally move past your obstacles and reach your goals, start now. Your breakthrough. You've got this. Now, go out there and make it happen.